So a week or two ago, I got back from spending a weekend in Texas, and I was planning on shooting the South African 223 Remington Veldski Championships that weekend. Now, the problem with that was, I have a 223 Remington, but it's in an ACC chassis. It had a Razor Gen 3 on it at the time. I needed to shave a significant amount of weight off. Now, the weight limit for this discipline is 6 kilograms. Okay, now the ACC is not known for being light, neither is any of the Razor models for that matter. So I thought I'd show you guys how I sort of changed up my setup and the rifle that I ended up building for that match. Let's go. Now there's a couple of things I did here that it's a little bit DIY. Let me just clamp that down. It is so nice to be able to work with Arca. Here's a little tip. If you guys don't have like a super nice bench vise or something, if you've got some form of tripod, okay, that you have an Arca rail on and your rifle has Arca, this does make a really nice little platform if you need to do some work and stuff on your rifle. Now, we're not going to be doing that in today's video. I'm just going to talk you through what I actually did, and I'll show you guys some hidden features. Obviously, the rifle is safe because I'm not an idiot. So, first of all, ACC, this is, I want to say Gen 1, but it's not really Gen 1. This ACC is going to stay in its current configuration. There will obviously be the ACC Elite, which we'll have some content on hopefully very soon, some more content on that. So basically what I did was, first things first, you know, the ACCs, the way I run mine, I have quite a lot of weight in them, and the ACCs actually can take weight in multiple places. Now, something you perhaps did not know about your ACC, just gonna get rid of the ground part. A couple of you guys have been asking if there's gonna be a video on this. There will be a video on that shortly. Now, you may notice, if you're a very keen observer, that this little front cap on the ACC that goes right here, if I put my face there, no, there we go. Now you can see this little front cap right here is missing, and the reason that is missing, this is what's causing the problem. Let me just, I'm crashing into my own tripod here with the barricade stop. So that piece is missing, and the reason that piece is missing is my rifle was zeroed, okay? And I didn't want to remove my rifle out of its action screws in order to strip the weight down. So what you can do, there's 4 little Allen keys here that you can loosen, and this front section, let me grab this, will actually come off. Now here's all the little nonsense stuff that I took out of the rifle. Now this little front section sits right there, and if you actually take that off, then you can loosen all the screws below, and you can actually slide the weights out of the front, okay, without losing your zero. Now, for me, seemed like a great idea at the time, until I got to the scale, and I was still way overweight, okay? Let me rephrase. My rifle was still way over the 6 kilogram limit. So then I was like, well, you know, I'd done this effort to, you know, slip the weights off the front, took the external weights off. I usually run the Mirage shield on the front there too, because, you know, it looks really cool. And I'm all about my rifle looking really, really cool. Now, you may also notice this disaster, if you look at that, I couldn't find my thread protector. So I used a little bit of electric tape. And that seemed to work perfectly fine. And then I was like, because the warbird was a little bit heavy still, and you're not allowed to shoot a muzzle brake, so running even our titanium brake was out of the question completely. So I was like, well, I don't want to just rock up with like exposed threads. I'm just going to take some electrical tape, and did a really terrible job at that. Then I had to get rid of the scope, because obviously next heaviest thing is going to be the Razor Gen 3. They weigh slightly less than the Gen 2 Razor, but it's still heavy. So I was like, okay, what optic do I have? Okay, that's within sort of, that will tick the boxes. So I was either going for a Vortex AMG, which is currently on my air rifle, or I went for, which I ended up going for, is the LHT. Okay, this is the, I think it's 4.5 to 22, if memory serves. Yeah, 4.5 to 22. So I put this on, it was in rings already, so that's perfect. And actually for this discipline, you're not allowed to go over 14 power for the shoot. So they were gonna, like, you know, crank it up to 14 and then tape that shut. You're not allowed to dial anything because it's unknown distances. It's quite a strict sort of discipline. And so this is the configuration. So no muzzle device, Vortex LHT. This is a Hauer 1500, by the way, for those of you guys asking, in an ACC, and I barely, I'm talking grams, made the 6 kilogram limit. So It would have been a lot of fun. As I said, I traveled a little bit too much. In the weeks leading up to that, it was SHOT Show, it was the Gandhis, and I was feeling a little bit tired, and my wife was kind of like, dude, you need to spend some time at the family. And at the end of the day, my wife is the one that supports me, that lets me go on these crazy adventures. So every now and again when she says, Pete, perhaps you've done a little bit too much work, because those trips are still work for me. And even going to a match nowadays, it's work, because I'm videoing this stuff and everything. I was like, yeah, okay, cool, I'll stay at home. So the point of the story is, if for whatever reason, even if you're taking your ACC hunting, as I have done in the past, if you don't want to lose your zero, you can strip basically all the weight off it, all the excess weight, the added weight, without having to remove your action screws and losing your zero. Well, you won't lose your zero, but it won't be pinpoint again, right? You could probably still go out and hunt like that, but I would generally re-zero. So if you don't have that opportunity to re-zero, you can just rip out your weights like that. If they struggle to slide, just tap them through the little M-lock slot to loosen them up, and they will slip out. I actually used my orange vise, tipped the rifle all the way forward, and all the weights just went shoop, 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 into the bucket. It's always funny when I end up doing my own sound effects inadvertently. So this would have been a fun little setup to shoot that match. I have got something else in mind. Perhaps once my my BAT 223 shows up, I will rip out the HNT 26, not on the wall at the moment, but I'll sort of use that platform perhaps to go shoot that discipline and sort of make it into the 6 kilogram limit a little bit easier, and then perhaps run some sort of muzzle device like our Warbird silence or something like that. Anyway guys, pro little tip, quick video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can strip out your weights without losing zero. That feature, they have found nobody really uses that, and I don't know if it's a combination of people really don't take out their weights, or if it's something that they don't know about. So on the new ACC Elite, that feature's not even there at all. Anyway, okay, see you in the next one. Bye.